Hi, I am Daniel and I am Creative Director at Gaming Mind Studios. Placing the signals was the most complicated part of Railway Empire 1. It worked well and allowed complex train management. However, with the hundreds or thousands of signals needed within a rail network, it was also a big source of errors. Also, placing and setting the small signals was often fiddly. In the end, users just wanted to build parallel tracks, give them a direction and divide them into segments so that as many trains as possible could use them. In Railway Empire 2, due to the huge maps, the rail network can be 5 times larger, so I would have to place 5 times more signals by hand. That's why we thought about combining signals, the automatic placing of multiple signals, and the method of defining track directions. The result is, in Railway Empire 2 you don't place signals, but you define track directions. The signals are then set automatically. This is much easier to understand, less click work and much less source to errors. One may think that the track logic and the track building is just like in part 1 plus some improvements. However, this is not true. In part 1 we reached the limits for user interaction, train logic and AI track building. To improve all this, we had to rebuild everything from scratch. Thanks to this, Railway Empire 2 offers many improvements. Bridges and tunnels can have much more parallel tracks. Switches and rail crossings can more easily be built. Stations can be extended with up to 8 tracks and flexible gridirons. Shortcuts help creating parallel tracks. Part 2 also offers better terrain adjustments when building parallel tracks in hilly areas. In total, the new system is easier to get into and less tedious work in the late game while giving more options at the same time. With the new size of the maps, it is obvious that many users will create huge companies with hundreds of trains. To manage them all would be difficult with the single train philosophy of part 1. All trains of the line will use the same locomotive and you can set up the line automatically or with many manual settings as in part 1. Additionally, many different alerts will tell you, for example, if a train line loses money or could use more trains.
In summary, Railway Empire 2 had by far the largest budget than any other games that our studio created before. And I can tell you why. The scope of Railway Empire 2 is huge. It offers 14 maps in North America and Europe, plus the full maps of both continents. The 5 chapters of the campaign offer about 20 hours of guided gameplay. There are also 14 scenarios, all voice acted, which will take you about 40 hours to complete. So, altogether, the content of Railway Empire 2 has about the scope of Railway Empire 1 with all available DLCs. For our continental maps, we wanted to increase the number of towns and businesses, and we wanted to have more space between towns to enable bigger and more complex rail networks. At the same time, we wanted to increase the resolution of the landscape. For this, we had to improve our 3D engine and we had to create a new level design workflow. This meant that we had to build all maps from scratch. The result is that the USA map, for example, is 8 times bigger than the All-America map from Railway Empire 1.
In Railway Empire 1 we had many different stations. It was like one for each purpose. But we wanted them to be more flexible as the world is undergoing extreme growth and change all the time. So we've put a lot of work into the train stations of Railway Empire 2 and tried to make them as adaptable as possible. Some examples. First off, stations may be built anywhere. It doesn't matter if in a city, near farms or even somewhere in between. In towns, up to 3 stations are allowed with up to 8 tracks. Small stations can easily be expanded into larger ones whenever you need them. The 2 possible extension buildings per station allow for very different purposes. Or expand a station in the countryside with an inn to allow passengers to switch train lines and get to their destinations more dynamically. You may also extend stations with warehouses and create a network of them to optimize the distribution of goods. Or you may add special bonuses to your city stations to optimize for passenger traffic. So there are many possibilities to organize your transport network with the help of your train stations. All you must do is take a decision and start building your empire. In Railway Empire 1, especially the interface was more cartoony. But when we increased the graphic details of the landscapes, buildings and locomotives, we thought that a high degree of realism would be best for railway fans. Since this contradicted the interface, it had to be more realistic. This also helped us to reduce the size of the interface, so there are fewer full-screen dialogues and you can enjoy the game world more often.